Maybe I didn't live as I ought to have done. Leo Tolstoy. The death of Ivan Ilyich. Ivan Ilyich had the perfect life. A judge, a house, a caring wife. Commotions came. The salary grew. He decorated his home. That's what we all do. Then a fall, a pain in his side. A doctor's murmur, a place to hide. Not from death, from the creeping thought. What if the life I built is worth nothing? He fought. He looked at his career, just papers to sign. He looked at his family, a fragile design. He looked at his friends, they came for the card game and left before he could whisper his real name. He realized everything he chased was a lie, a social script, a lullaby, to keep him from asking the one question that matters when the curtain falls. What scatters? Maybe I didn't live, maybe I just performed. Wore the right mask, kept myself warm. With success, with applause, with the gold in my hand. But the grave doesn't care about the world's demand. Maybe I didn't live, maybe I just survived. Kept the fear at bay, kept the dream alive. But the dream was a lie, now the light is thin. What's the meaning of a life that never began within? The preacher said in Ecclesiastes, vanity of vanities, all the chasing under the sun, it's just bankrupt sanity. You build, you plant, you store up grain, then you die and another inherits your pain. Solomon had it all, women, wine, wisdom, wealth. And at the end he said, it's a vapor, it's not health. The eye never sees enough, the ear never hears its fill. You can climb the tallest mountain, the valley's there still. So what's the point? Why get out of bed? Why love? Why weep? Why bow the head? The world says make your mark, be a name that lasts. But the tombstone erodes, that's the truth that gasps. Unless the fear is misplaced. Unless the meaning isn't in the race. Unless the odd that Ivan missed wasn't a promotion but a kiss from the one who made the breathing a jest. Tolstoy wrote, in his deception he had lived, and that deception was the very thing that hid from him the only real question. What is the good of my life? What is its direction? And when the pain became too great to ignore, he saw that everything he'd lived for was a curtain to block the light from the one who says, I am the way, the truth, the life. Maybe I didn't live, maybe I just performed. Wore the right mask, kept myself warm. With success, with applause, with the gold in my hand. But the grave doesn't care about the world's demand. Maybe I didn't live, but it's not too late to tear down the lie, to open the gate, to fear the Lord, not the empty crowd, and find that meaning is not a cloud, but a person, a man who wept, who died, who rose, who said, follow me and you'll know what life is. Not a transaction, not a pose, but a love that breaks the coffin lid. So here's the meaning, and it's simple as a child. Not the barns, not the titles, not the empire wild, not the better to be feared of Machiavelli's dream, not the imposter's gold or the pretend wise scheme. The preacher finally found it after all his despair. Fear God and keep his commandments, that's the whole duty of man, because every other meaning crumbles into air. But a life lived for the eternal, that's the only plan. Ivan Ilyich saw it in the final flicker of light. He had lived for the wrong things, but grace was in sight. He reached for his son, he forgave his wife, and in that tiny moment, death lost its knife. Because meaning isn't found in what you gather, it's found in whose you are, Father.
Maybe I didn't live